Okay, so today is going to be a bit of a raw video because I'm going to be talking about something that has been bothering me for a very long time in regards to Pokemon Go. And I'm of course talking about the customer support that this game has. More specifically, I really feel like when it comes to Niantic support, it has become a bit of a meme at this point, and I really think if this game were to succeed in the future, what they need to do is solve their customer support problem, because as of right now, it's been atrocious and it's laughable at this point. So that's what this video is going to be about. Let's get right into it. Alright, how's it going everyone? It's me, it's Jinsula. I hope you're having a good day and welcome to today's Pokemon Go video. Today we're going to be talking about Niantic support because in my mind, I feel like this is probably the industry standard for what you should never do when it comes to a support team. Niantic support has had a history of being the laughingstock of the Pokemon Go community. And why is this? Well, there are two responses that you would typically get when reaching out to Niantic support. The first response is, of course, an automated message that is typically very tone deaf and not helpful at all. And the second is a response from an actual person who probably has never touched Pokemon Go, and they're basically making a response out of a handbook. And usually, these responses are never going to help you, whether or not you're experiencing a glitch in the game that's causing you to lose certain Pokemon or in-app purchases, or if you're getting your account banned, or if you lose your account from a hacker or something like that. There's never going to be a case where you're going to get reliable help from Niantic support, and I think this is something that we as a Pokemon Go community need to start calling out. Over time, it's kind of become a thing where Pokemon Go players have gotten used to how bad Niantic support is. And I really think that's not okay. I really feel like for us as Pokemon Go players to play a game like this, a game that is incredibly glitchy and incredibly technically heavy, there needs to be a good support system behind it. There needs to be really good customer support. I've talked to a lot of players who have run into so many game-breaking glitches, and they never get any help from Niantic support. If they were to lose items, or if they were to lose in-app purchases, or if they were to lose Pokemon from raids due to a bug, they would get no help at all from Niantic support. Sometimes they might pull through and actually compensate them in some way, but I want to say 99% of the time, they're not going to get any help from Niantic support. And it's gotten so bad that, a lot of people will post responses from Niantic support and laugh at it. It's become comedic at this point. Let me give you this notable example from the Sylph Road. So this player actually experienced a really bad glitch with Lucky Friends, and yeah, they reached out to Niantic support, and the response that Niantic support gave them was laughable. It was very head-scratching. I was very confused by this response, and it just goes to show just how bad it's gotten with Niantic support. So, they say, I met one of my lucky friends about a week ago. We both got a lucky Pokemon as expected. She said, see you again in 3 days. That's all we need to become lucky friends again. And I said, sure, but we only need 1 day. And yeah, they just joked around with each other. Then she texted me saying, our lucky trade made us lucky friends. So I opened the app again to check her profile page, and yes, we were lucky friends again. Shortly after, I also received the usual notification that we became lucky friends. So this tells me it wasn't a visual glitch. They legitimately became lucky friends immediately from the lucky trade that they did. So we met again yesterday and traded a shiny Cresselia. Neither of us received a lucky Pokemon, and of course, his Pokemon ended up being very crappy IVs, which will happen if it's not a lucky trade. I filed a support ticket and got a reply, which doesn't make any sense to me. Now, listen to this reply. When you are lucky friends with someone, the next time you trade with each other, both Pokemon will become lucky Pokemon. That is true. However, the important thing to note is that both the trade participants must fulfill the criteria of having the Pokemon since 2017 and owning less than 15 lucky Pokemon. If only one trainer has met both of these criteria, it is just a chance that the trade will result in lucky Pokemon. Oh my god. So, I don't know who made this response. I don't know if it was an automated response or if it was someone that was being paid minimum wage. I just don't know what's going on here. This is not how Lucky Friends work. This is not how Lucky Friends works. It's very frustrating that these are the kind of responses that we get from Niantic support. There's no reliability here. There's no sense that you're ever going to get actual legitimate help from Niantic whenever you run into a big problem like this. Trading a shiny Cresselia through a lucky trade is what you would typically do. Like, I would imagine they wouldn't have traded their shiny Cresselia if they weren't lucky friends. And of course, this glitch prevented them from getting the results that they wanted, and they ended up losing a super rare Pokemon. And of course, the response that they got from Niantic was something completely off, and it's not even how the game works. And, you know, this just goes to show, like, there's really something wrong going on at Niantic when it comes to their support team. And I totally get it. They're probably outsourcing their technical support to a third party, and that third party is not obligated to know the ins and outs of their game. But at the same time, there needs to be some sort of responsibility here. Like, when it comes to getting support from a game studio, you would think that the game studio would know how their game operates, at least with the general casual user base. Like, I get it. Like, hardcore gamers are probably fully aware that AAA studios are going to be outsourcing their technical support, and they're going to typically give responses like this. But this is not okay. Like, Pokemon Go is a much more casual game, so you're going to get a lot more casual players. People who do not go and play Halo or Minecraft or League of Legends for several hours a day. They do not know what it's like to be a hardcore gamer, so getting a response like this is going to be incredibly jarring. And this is something that Niantic needs to be aware of. They absolutely need to be investing in better technical support. I don't know if they need to outsource to a much better company for a higher price, or they need to take on some of the technical support themselves. But this is absolutely ridiculous. I am just flabbergasted at how bad it's gotten when it comes to Niantic support. And this is kind of a minor issue compared to some of the major issues that players have had to deal with and getting absolutely no good response from Niantic support. Like, for example, whenever they do a ban wave for spoofers or for cheaters, typically you'll get a lot of false positives because that'll naturally happen. If they're trying to detect cheaters through an algorithm, then naturally some players who are not cheating are going to fall through the cracks. Just ask Lucky Buns. And typically, Niantic will not do a good job at helping out these players. Even though they are fully legitimate and they can prove that they are fully legitimate, they're not going to get their account back for a long time. And that's one of the big problems that has been ongoing. And then there are those cases where players will lose their accounts due to a hacker, and Niantic will do very little to help these players out. So yeah, players are essentially always at risk of losing their account and not being able to get it back. That's just the nature of playing Pokemon Go with this kind of technical support. And then of course, Pokemon Go is infamously one of the buggiest games currently on the market. Like, when it comes to the Go Battle League, it's probably the most competitive aspect of Pokemon Go, and yet there's just constant server issues and a lot of lag issues. If you lose out on a lot of battles unfairly because of server issues, well, Niantic is not going to be able to help you. Like, Niantic support is not going to be able to help you. Like, maybe they'll throw it on the known issues page and just leave it at that. But yeah, if you try to reach out to Niantic regarding these issues, you're pretty much just going to be talking into a wall. And I really feel like for a game like this, where it's a live service, I really do not think that should be allowed at all. I really feel like the Pokemon Go community needs to hold Niantic accountable. I just want Pokemon Go to succeed, like, for the next 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, what have you. And in order for that to happen, Niantic needs to improve their technical support. I mean, it's gotten to a bad place. Like, at this point, like, if there were to ever be an issue with Pokemon Go, like, with my account, like, if I were to ever lose my account, I really cannot rely on Niantic support. I will submit the ticket to try to get my account back, of course, but I just don't think I can be confident that they will actually get the job done. Like, Niantic support is just a laughingstock. It's really bad. I just cannot think of an actual legitimate case where Niantic support has went above and beyond to help a player. It typically is the case that Niantic support is either completely tone deaf or they are completely unaware of how their game operates, and that's a really big problem. There's a lot of things that the player base has had to deal with, and I really feel like this is one of those things that we shouldn't be dealing with. And I get it. Like I said earlier, like, this is very typical of AAA studios, right? Like, this is an issue that you do see with, like, Blizzard Entertainment games and Activision games and with League of Legends and Riot Games. Like, this is not necessarily a specifically Niantic issue, but I think when it comes to Niantic and when it comes to Pokemon Go, I think we deserve better as Pokemon Go players. That's just my opinion on it. But yeah, in any case, that's going to be it for this video. I would love to know your thoughts regarding everything that I talked about. Is there a specific Niantic support story that you want to share? Make sure you do so in the comments below. And yeah, let's have a great discussion, and possibly a good laugh as well. And I really hope you enjoyed this video and found it to be informative and helpful. If you did, make sure you hit that thumbs up button and subscribe if it's your first time here. And don't forget that little bell so you can stay up to date on whenever I upload videos. And I want to give a quick shout out to all of my patrons on Patreon. You make this channel content possible. If you want to support my channel in any way, big or small, then make sure you go and check out the links in the description below. For all my patrons in my Patreon family, they get a permanent spot on my in-game friends list. So if you want to interact with me in some way within Pokemon GO, like with remote raids or the friendship system, then make sure you go and check out my Patreon. And also, a big way you can support me is by following me on social media. My handle is @Jinsula, and I'm on the following platforms. Alright, and that's going to be it. I'm Jinsula. Be safe, have fun, love yourself, and I'll catch you all later.